Welcome along to Lorna Páirce here on WLR. Tomás McCarthy here till 7 o'clock. Well, it's a county hurling semi-final special with Ballygunner versus Lismore and Mount Sion versus Passage, featuring in a Skoda Big Match doubleheader this weekend. Club greats Ken McGrath, Sean Cullinane, Sean Daly and Andy Maloney all coming up over the next hour. Our Skoda Big Match on Sunday is Mount Sion versus Passage in Welsh Park. Join Kieran O'Connor and Shane Ahern for live coverage from 1:50. Well, delighted to say that 3-time All-Star and 6-time county medalist with Mount Sion, Ken McGrath, is on the line to look ahead to this All-Eastern clash. And Ken, I saw yourself and Tony Brown out on the field after the win against De La Salle last Sunday, congratulating the players and management. Why did that win mean so much for Mount Sion?
Look, it was a huge win to Moss. I suppose the week before we were poor. We bailed out team enough to run more. But I suppose, look, we're missing 3 of the boys. It probably wasn't a true reflection of that team. I suppose Austin was gone after 2 minutes. You don't read him missing, and you had PJ Fannin, who's having a great season, missing as well. So, look, I think we beat De La Salle, who are a very strong team. I think if you win a knockout match, it's massive. And I suppose, especially for us, I think it was 14 years since winning county championship, and be back in the semi-final again. You're only 1 game away from a final, and it's huge. And I said, look, it's a local derby, and knockout games are so important when it comes to club championship, you know. And look, thankfully we've been producing some good knockout performances over the last few years. And so we're back in the semi-final with a youngish kind of team. And I said, look, I missed the Romore game. I went to the Cullinane game. I gave my ticket away to the Romore game. Some let's go, and I saw the score, and I was watching it online, and you're kind of saying, where are we? But then they produced that performance last Sunday. They played some great hurling, got some great scores, and you just be on such a high. Your own club be back in the semi-final, and look, we probably should have been out the pitch. But really went down with the same along to the boys, you know, and I think we're looking at it saying, geez, you probably shouldn't be here. But no, look, it was great, and I really enjoyed the game. It was a good high-quality game for both teams, to be honest with you.
4 points was the winning margin in the end, Ken, but it could have been so much greater. De La Salle got those 2 late goals. Mount Sion missed a couple of chances at the other end. Why were Sion so dominant in that second half, in your view?
I don't know. They started the second half very well. So they got some great long-range points, about 9 or 10 points from beyond the 65. And I suppose, look, when Austin kicked into gear in the second half, especially, he got 4 or 5 points from play. It was brilliant. Martin O'Neill was having a very good season for us. He's back from Canada. He's a huge loss for the last 4 or 5 years, but his striking is great as well. He got 3 or 4 brilliant points long range. And look, things just clicked. And you know yourself, when you get a run of times in a match, it's hard to put your finger on it or point where it all changed. But when we got a run, the points were going over, and they looked very confident. They were enjoying it, you know. So that can make a team look very good. It can make the opposite team look very bad sometimes. You get a run and hurling, you know. That's what happened. And in all fairness, De La Salle did fought back hard, and they had a couple of chances. You know, Kevin Bourne ran the crossbar of the post right in the corner there, you know. So we were hanging on a small bit at the end, but I think we fully deserved it.
And Ken, it's been a real roller coaster ride for Austin Gleeson these past 2 weeks. That straight red card early on against Rowan that you mentioned, subsequently rescinded, started against De La Salle in the half-forward line, 4 great points from play in that second half, and then sent off again in the last minute on 2 yellow cards. What's your take on the highs and lows that he's had over the past 2 Sundays?
Hurling terms, I think he's playing brilliant. I think hurling terms for the club last year, he was unreal as well. Against Cullinane, he was probably our best player as well, and 4 or 5 points, the class points he got in the second half, it drove on the team, and he's a pure leader for us, you know. The send-off against Rowan, to be honest with you, I would have always hoped if Austin get that real physicality, that power, that raw aggression added to, like the skill he have, the pace he have, the letters that he have, I think he's unstoppable, and he's doing it. And I'm honest with you, I've seen a good few comments and different things about it, and especially on social media. And that's the problem with social media, I think, Tomas. Everyone has an opinion on it, you know, and the platform's there to kind of, you have fellas there and experts on everything, soccer, rugby, COVID, everything they have an opinion on, you know. But to me, if you felt that challenge against Romore was disgraceful, or some fellas said it was 50, I don't think you know the game of hurling if you call that challenge 50 or disgraceful. Like, to me, I think he caught him perfect, and that's why he was rescinded. It's not Austin's fault he's in such shape that he got his strength condition up to such a level. You know, in all fairness, young Nolan didn't make a meal of it. He got a fair belt. And I think being rescinded was the right call. Whether that was a Romore fella given that shot or not, I would have said the same opinion. I think it was a perfectly timed challenge, and Portmar or even Jackie Turlin, if they'd done that, they'd be lauded in the county. You know, and I wouldn't take that away from Austin. I think that the county would need that, and I think we need it going forward, especially for county teams as well. You know, so he's added this to his game, the strength, the power. I don't see much wrong with it, to be honest.
Right, like I suppose every manager can, like for club or inter-county, wants Austin to play right up to that edge, and he has been doing, I suppose, the past couple of matches for Mount Sion. But does he maybe need to be a little bit more careful in how he goes into those challenges and not get himself in those situations?
I suppose, look, when you're a leader and you're say a main player of a team, you're being told in the dressing room, set the tone from the start. You know, look, the very first or second minute against Romore, he set the tone. Now, look, as I said, if other fellas have different opinions of that, I thought it was actually a perfect time challenge against a smaller player who we caught perfect, right? That's my opinion on it. The best players, if you go over time, play on the edge the most. And I think I was always of an opinion about Austin. His hurling is unbelievable. His skill level is unreal. But if he got that real aggression and the real physicality, which he's doing. Now, look, I know what you're saying. I'd have no much problems with last Sunday. There were probably 2 yellows. I think that's what it is 2 yellows. They probably were. I didn't see him. I didn't see him back. I only saw him live. You know, they probably were 2 yellows. But look, that's the game. It's a physical game. There's like as well as built up for these local championship matches. It's high tempo. There's players coming into the door. That's the nature of the game. Now we're going to take away that from a player that is after getting in this shape and has that ability. I think I don't know where we're going if we're going to take away that from a player. You know, it wasn't like even especially the challenge against Romore. Like it was a body-to-body challenge. It wasn't a petulant swing. It wasn't a dirty pull. It was none of them things. He went in hard, and all fairness, Brian Owen turned right into him, and he caught him perfect. And that's my opinion on it, you know.
And like there is different opinions out there on it, Ken, on both of the red cards against Rowan Moore and De La Salle. But you mentioned some of the commentary on social media. Does that make you a little bit uncomfortable seeing those comments in recent weeks?
Look, I think that's just the nature of the whole lot. The power that social media does have, you know. And I don't know if that's highlighting the whole lot or the whole thing is being dramatised over. As I said to you have people commenting on everything. They're experts on education, on health, on everything, you know. And I suppose social media gives them the platform to say whatever they want on it. And whether the referee felt it was a red card or not, or a free or not, that's okay, because that's what he thought. And he saw it so fast as line, but that was it, right? That's fair enough. And we could all make our judgment on that straight away. But to watch it on videos, right, and watch it slowing it down, and to say certain comments about it, then I think that's wrong. I don't agree with it. I think it's sort of nonsense, to be honest with you, know. And some of the stuff was over the top. And I said, if the same player does it next year in the championship, they'll be able to stand up and stand for him, you know.
Turning back to the hurling, Ken, in terms of John Meany this week, you know, he said there was kind of a lot of home truths said in the lead up to that De La Salle game, like they were highly motivated after losing to Rowan Moore by such a heavy margin. Is the key for Mount Sion to get back up to that level of performance on Sunday? Well,
they have to, because Passage will be at that level tomorrow, and there's no better team that get fired up and play as a team and play as units in Passage, and they've been in this position so many times over the last 10 years as well, in semi-finals and finals, so it's up their lads to match it, and it's whoever comes, I suppose, with that intensity and plays the better hurling on Sunday will win the game, because there's not much between the two teams. Both teams will feel they have a chance of getting to a county final here, you know. So, but they have to get up. Mount Sion have to get up to that intensity and have to get up to that fighting, and hopefully then they produce the hurling, you know, because it's going to be tight.
And like Ken, things have got even stranger this week with the fact that both of these semi-finals will now be played behind closed doors. Did you see this coming?
I didn't know. No, I said I enjoyed it. I went to the Cullinane game, walked down at Páirce, you'll meet more far, so I walked down, went on into the game, and you're socially distanced, you're away from everyone, you're watching the match, you're enjoying it, you're out in the fresh air. I don't understand some of the cause, but I said I'm not an expert on it. That's I suppose the recommendations they're saying that, and the guidelines for this week, and that's been strange because we were on such a high last Sunday, and this week we don't know. We obviously can't go. We'll have to watch it. We'll stream it and watch it, you know. So it's a bit strange. I don't know, like how, even I was hoping, I suppose, before this week that it even up the the levels a bit. I suppose 200 people were allowed in, but like Wedge Park can hold 13,000 people, and there's enough space for everyone to distance in. It was 500-600 people, but look, that's what they said, and it's going to be very strange. It's going to be strange launching your club in semi-final not being down there, you know.
And just finally, Ken, like with COVID-19 concerns and the financial concerns of county boards have been well publicised over the past week or so, are the inter-county championships now in real jeopardy?
Well, I think the inter-county championship for this year is definitely in jeopardy. Like, Tomas, if you have a player that gets COVID, that team can't train, and like that's obviously it's going to deflect from the championship. So I'm coming from if a team can't train for a few weeks, and obviously if they're out on the Sunday or whatever, and it's different in other sports where that's their job and they can self-isolate and do their testing for COVID every second day, and they don't have to go to work. But our lads have to go to work, you know. And it's like, how do you stay away from it? What do you do for the few weeks leading up to the championship? And if one team, say if a high profile, if a player or any player in any of the panels get it, their team is obviously stood down, and you know what I mean. It's going to be tough. And I thought this year was the year that we could have leaving inter-county and have the club championship take centre stage. And I don't know with Northern Ireland in November, December. Will it be devalued a small bit, Tomas? I don't know. Obviously, look, you're not going to get crowds out of it. We're watching the Champions League at the minute, and look, you'd watch the games, all right, but I don't think it has the same draw or has the same appeal. I don't know, and maybe I could be wrong. But look, it's hard to tell. If one of the players or one of the backroom team picks up COVID, the whole team is still down, and like that's a drawback straight away for training, for preparing, and you could be out against the team Sunday or Sunday week. Well, what do you do? What happens then is what, you know what I mean? So it's all up in the air really, and that we don't have the possibilities of all the teams self-isolating and not going anymore for a few weeks because everyone has to work or in college or whatever, you know. So it's just it's mad really, and we probably thought that back in March that it wasn't now the middle of August that we'd have a handle on this, but it looks like it's starting to come back again, you know.
Now you're hurling, Lorna Porca, with Tomas McCarthy on WLR.
So for the Passage viewpoint on Sunday's big match, I'm joined the line by former Waterford fullback Sion Cullinane. And Sean, there was big celebrations in Passage after the quarter-final win over Roanmore in Welsh Park last Saturday. Have this team surpassed expectations by reaching the last four?
Well, I suppose at the start of the year, things didn't look great. We had 4 or 5 lads away and other lads injured and one thing or another. And I suppose a bit of doom and gloom didn't look great at the start of the year. But in fairness to the management team, they turned in the uncles and they really come up trumps. And I wouldn't say they surpassed their expectations, but they have done really well to get where they are today.
What impressed you most about that Passage performance last Saturday, Sean?
I suppose Roanmore really dogged the team. You know, no disrespect to the hurlers, but you know it's really, really hard to beat them. And the last 3 meetings with Roanmore and Passage has been down to 1 puck of the ball. You know what I mean? 1 point, 2 points. So you know, looking back on last year, it was only a point or two, and we were minus the players this year. So I suppose we're a little wary. They had really good results against Mount Sion, really hurled well, and you know, I suppose for us to come away with a victory, you know, was really, really encouraging. And I suppose the thing that really impressed me was the fighting spirit. You know, we have 4 18-year-olds playing, and you know they're young, inexperienced, but when they chipped her down, you know, especially in the 5 minutes before half time, was a really, really questions were asked. Then once they got out of hand, but there was a few hard tackles went in, and the boys just stood up to the plate. You know what I mean? You can't ask for any more than that. I think that really, really impressed me. I think, and stood to him for the second half.
And you must have been pleased with the defensive effort as well, Sean, as a former number 3.
Yeah, I think all year we've been reasonably good. You know, the backs as a unit, midfield backs as a unit, have been doing really well. You know, we conceded, 3 points in play against Roanmore. You know, albeit we are conceding a few frees, but some of them are probably further out the field. But the 6 backs as a unit and the keeper, I suppose you throw Eddie in there as well. You know, been doing really, really well. And teams are finding it hard to score from play, which I hope continues for the match on Sunday.
Yeah, and a player that's really caught my eye, Sean, in the past 3 matches has been Callum O'Neill at number 2. Like he's picked up Tommy Ryan, Desi Hutchinson, Billy Nolan. Will he have another important part to play on Sunday? He
will. So no matter who he picks up Sunday, he's going to have an important job. But Callum has really, really come on leaps and bounds this year. He has pace to burn, which is a big help when you're marking the likes of and these guys, you know what I mean? Tommy Ryan being one of the fastest lads in the county. But apart from his pace, his hurling has really improved, and I think more so than the first score last Sunday. I mean, he got a tremendous point in the middle of the field, and just the whole package with Callum has improved immensely this year, and I think himself it'll bring him on a ton for the game on Sunday.
And the manager, Michael Welch, Sean, the former Kilkenny goalkeeper, got a great kick out of last Saturday's win. What has he brought to the Passage Club over the last couple of years?
Well, I suppose the typical Kilkenny thing is, they never say oh attitude and once they win at all costs, but they're cute lads up around Kilkenny. They know the little things that we might know down here, but things. He's after changing the whole team around. Going back to 2013 when we beat Ballygunner, the team has totally changed. There's only 3 or 4 of that team now starting the last couple of games, and that's a huge change in 7 years, and especially at senior level. So he's been there for the last 3 or 4 years, so he's been instrumental in the change, and I think that to make so many changes in a short period of time for a small club, it's different with bigger clubs that have bigger numbers, like with Passage, like the small number, so like that big turnaround with the numbers in a short period of time, that's really it's impressive. And
Sean, it's going to be very strange having a county semi-final being played behind closed doors. Where are you going to watch Sunday's game?
I don't know. I tend to watch it in Páirce, but
yeah.
I'm out the window now, but it is frustrating, I suppose you better careful what we say and what we don't say. Look, everybody wants the COVID thing to be gone in the first goal, can at all, and I think everyone will do anything they can to get rid of it, but it's just the way certain powers are going about it. They seem to be hitting the wrong people, in my point of view. But anyway, look, it is what it is. We have to deal with it. I'll probably be watching at home tomorrow, probably, but my heart will be inside in Merck Park, as you know yourself. But there's nothing we can do about it,
Yeah, is it going to be a tough one, Sean, with your own son Gary lining out on Sunday?
That's what it is, It's probably the first game I've ever missed to them, you know what I mean? So, when you're involved so much in the club and you're supposed to, when your own flesh and blood is playing, there's a lot of other parents in the same boat, you know what I mean? And, you want to be there to support them and shout them on. It'll be hard on them as well. It was hard enough on them playing with 70 or 80 or 90, whatever's in the stands for the last couple of games, but it'll be even worse now, yourself, when you're playing matches, especially county semi-finals or finals or quarter-finals, crowd has a big part in it, and I won't say it feels like a challenge game now with no crowd there, but, it won't be the same, I'll say, for them,
Blue and white. We are blue and white. We are WLR.